Hello everybody, it's Mrs. Maths here. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are looking at the 2019 Leaving Cert Ordinary Level Paper 1 Question 4. As you can see here, Part A is an Algebraic Fractions question and Part B is Simultaneous Equations a question. We are going to go through them step by step as usual, and you'll be able to learn from these examples and revise from these examples. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you can keep up to date with all of my latest videos. Let's start with Part A, and as you can see here we have algebraic fractions with a 5, a 2 and a 10 on the bottom. In an ideal world, we don't want to have fractions at all. It's much easier to calculate or to solve something when there are no fractions there. The way to approach this is to do your best to get rid of the fraction, the 5, the 2 and the 10. Now obviously you can't just get rid, we have to do a specific calculation to cancel them out. If you want to get rid of whatever is on the bottom, multiply by whatever is on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply by 5, 2 and 10 to every part of my fraction. As you can see here, I've multiplied all the three parts of this equation by 5, 2 and 10 because I'm multiplying by 5 to cancel the 5, multiplying by 2 to cancel the 2 and multiplying 10 to cancel the 10. The 5 above the line and the 5 below the line cancel each other out, so we can cross those off. So what is happening exactly here is that 5 divided by 5 gives me 1, and really and truly we don't write down 1. 2 divided by 2 gives me 1. 10 divided by 10 gives me 1. So I'm left with 20 by 3x plus 1, 50 by x minus 2 equals 10 by 47. Continue to multiply out your brackets here. 60x plus 20 plus 50x minus 100 equals 470. Tidy up what is the same. So 50x and 60x is 110x, plus 20 minus 100 is minus 80, equals 470. We want to find x. We are solving for x. So x is on the left, numbers on the right. So we're going to keep 110x on the left. We're going to move that minus 80 over. When it moves over across the equal sign, it does the opposite, it adds. So we get 110x is equal to 550. We want x on its own, so we're going to take that 110. Because it's multiplying, it now comes over here and divides. It does the opposite and it divides in 5 times. So your answer is x is equal to 5. To recap, this method of multiplying by what you want to get rid of, 5, 2 and 10 in this question, is a very good method to learn, and it is a very useful thing to know how to do across all topics and all levels in maths. It doesn't matter if there's x's on the bottom or there's just plain numbers, this method still works. Alright, that's part A done. Let's move on to part B. They're asking us to solve the simultaneous equations, which are x minus 5y equals minus 13 and x squared plus y squared equals 13. What you do need to spot straight away is that those two equations are different. The top one is linear and the bottom one is a quadratic equation. It's very important that you spotted that straight away. On your course, the Leaving Cert Ordinary Level course, there's two types of simultaneous equations you need to know how to do. To solve two linear simultaneous equations, we use an elimination method. The simultaneous equations of a linear and a quadratic, we use a substitution method. There's two different methods, so you do need to be able to spot which one you're dealing with and then hopefully remember which method to use. The best way to remember here is these are different. Look, x and x squared, they're totally different things. So you can't really add them, you can't really kind of combine them like you would in the other type of simultaneous equation. So we're going to use the substitution method here. Step 1 is to take a linear equation and rewrite it to let it equal to one of the variables. X minus 5 equals minus 13 is our linear equation. I'm going to let it equal to x, which means I'm going to take that minus 5y, bring it over to the right hand side. So now my equation is equal to x. Step 2, I'm going to sub linear equation into the quadratic equation. Quadratic equation is x squared plus y squared equals 13. I'm now going to say that x is equal to this. So instead of x, I'm going to have minus 13 plus 5y squared plus y squared equals 13. So I've just replaced the x with the minus 13 plus 5y. We are now going to solve this equation. You notice that the only thing that you don't know is y's now. So it's very easy for you to solve this. Up here, you couldn't do anything with it because you had two things you didn't know, or two unknowns as we say. So let's multiply out this. Breaking up the first bracket, multiplying it by the second. And again, carry everything across with you. When I multiply that out, so I get this line here, again, just keep tidying up until you get down. So let's keep tidying up. So 169, this gives me 130y plus 26y squared equals 13. I hope at this stage now that you can spot that you've got a quadratic equation here. And again, remember you're solving. So at the very top it told us that we were solving. You need to be thinking about your minus b formula now. Bring the y squared to the front, then bring the y, then the number, bring that 13 in, everything on the left. Okay, so there is a quadratic equation in terms of y, and we are going to solve it. You can use your minus b formula. You also could reduce this down and factorize it. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the minus b formula. So minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, where a is 26, b is minus 30 and c is 156. My writing is a bit big, so I'm getting tight on space. Could move down here a little bit further. So I just fill that in there. From an examiner's point of view, I need to see that filled in. If you use your calculator from here on, so if you throw all of it in the calculator in one go and give me an answer, that's perfectly fine. But I do need to see it filled in order to give you marks. Say for example, if something went wrong, you typed it in wrong and you got a wrong answer, but you subbed it incorrectly, you're actually getting a lot of merit for that work. When I put this into my calculator, I'm going to get two values for y. I get an answer of 3 and I get an answer of 2 for y. And then the third step and the final step, and I'm just going to draw some space here, we're going to sub y equals 3 and y equals 2 into the linear equation. Why the linear equation? Because it's the easiest one to work with. From the top of the page, my linear equation is x equals minus 13 plus 5y, and I'm going to sub in 3 for y first of all, which gives me minus 13 plus 15, gives me an answer of 2. So if I was to couple those up, x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3. And I do the same with y equals 2. I sub that in as well. So I'm taking minus 13 plus 5 multiplied by 2, which gives me minus 13 plus 10, which gives me an x value of minus 3. So coupling those up, I have minus 3, 2. So you can see our solutions there. So as you can see here, this part B question, there was quite a lot of work involved. So I've done it out in 3 steps there, as you can see.